Good morning, students. Today I am interacting with the students of class 10th on behalf of Khair Public School, and I am going to teach you physics and chapter electricity. We shall study about electricity today. So in our daily life we see a lot of phenomena are based upon the process of flow of electric current, such as the fan moves, the bulb glows, and we often press our shirts while going before a party, and there are a lot of phenomena which are based upon electricity. So we have to understand basically what electricity is. Electricity is a form of energy which we use at our homes, schools, offices, etc. It is a form of energy. Also we can say that it is electrical energy. It is electrical energy which we use at our homes, at our offices, at our schools. So what constitutes electricity? What are the factors that control or regulate electricity? We are going to study those factors here. So our first topic is electric current. So before going to the definition of electric current, let us understand the history of electric current. We all know that electric current can pass through a metallic wire, just like gold, silver, platinum wire, but electric current cannot pass through plastics, woods and papers. So why does this happen? Can you imagine why does this happen? The substances which can pass electricity through themselves, just like iron, silver, gold, platinum, these substances are known as conductors, whereas those substances which cannot pass electricity through themselves, they are known as insulators. Just like this chalk cannot pass electricity through itself, therefore it is an insulator. And suppose that this is a steel pen, it can pass electric current through itself, so this is a conductor. So why does this happen that a conductor can pass electric current through itself and an insulator cannot pass it? So we have to know about the structure of the atoms. We all know that in this world all the matters are made up of atoms. Everything is made up of atoms. So we can say this insulator is also made up of atoms and this conductor is also made up of atoms. So the main difference why this conductor can pass electric current through itself and this insulator cannot, the main difference is in the difference of structure of their atoms. So in a conductor we see, suppose that I am making an atom of a conductor. This is an atom of conductor. So what happens? In an atom there are basically three subatomic particles known as electrons, protons and neutrons. So two particles known as protons and neutrons, they are binded together in the nucleus. In the center part of the atom, which is known as nucleus, there are two particles known as protons. These are positively charged particles, and there are also neutrons. Neutrons do not have any charge on them. And the third particle, which is known as electron, which is also negatively charged particle, it revolves around the nucleus. So suppose this is an atom of a conductor. So what happens in a conductor? In the outermost shell of the atom there is one electron or two electrons. If we can provide a sufficient energy to the electrons which is present in the outermost shell, if we are able to provide a sufficient energy to the electron which is present in the outermost shell, then this electron will leave the atom and will be called as free electron. It is free to move throughout the conductor. So the question arises, where can we obtain this energy? From where can we get this energy? So that we are giving this energy to this electron present in the outermost shell of this atom. Where does this energy comes from? So my dear students, this energy comes from a battery or a cell. A battery or a cell provides electric potential energy present in the outermost shell of atom. The battery or cell provides energy to the electron which is present in the outermost shell of the atom of the conductor. So this electron, on gaining that electric potential energy, leaves this atom and becomes free to move throughout the conductor. Now suppose this is a battery. So here is the positive terminal of the battery and this is the negative terminal of the battery. So what happens? The positive terminal of the battery is supposed to be at high potential and the negative terminal of the battery is supposed to be at low potential. So at the negative terminal of the battery there is excess of electrons and these electrons start moving in this direction. Also you can recognize that this is anti-clockwise direction. The electron starts moving from negative terminal of the battery towards the positive terminal of the battery. So therefore the direction of electric current is taken as opposite to the direction of electric charges. Now, so we see that the electrons which was present in the outermost shell of the atom of the conductor, that free electron, on gaining potential energy from the battery, leaves that atom and starts moving in the conductor. This is a conducting wire, this is a conductor which can pass electric current through itself. So that free electron, on gaining potential energy, leaves that atom and it starts moving in the anti-clockwise direction from negative terminal of the battery towards the positive terminal of the battery. So the direction of the electric current is taken as opposite to the direction of the flow of electric charges. This means that the direction of electric current is taken as in the clockwise direction, that is from the positive terminal of the battery towards the negative terminal of the battery. Okay. So from here we conclude that electric current is basically the rate of flow of charges. The rate of flow of charges is called electric current. Suppose this is a conductor. Suppose this is a wire. Suppose this is a wire made up of iron. So I can say that it is a conductor, and if I join it with a battery, then what happens? On gaining potential energy from this battery, the electrons present in this conductor start moving in a particular direction. So there are millions, billions and trillions of atoms present in this conductor, and in their outermost shell, 1 electrons or 2 electrons, there are millions of atoms. So we can say there are millions and billions of electrons which start moving in a particular direction from negative terminal of the battery towards the positive terminal of the battery. This is the electron which is moving. This is the electron which is moving from the negative terminal of the battery towards the positive terminal. So electric current gives us the rate of flow of charges means that how many charges, how many electrons are passing through this conductor, or how many electrons are passing through a surface, through the cross sectional surface of this conductor per unit time. Basically, the electric current is the rate of flow of charges. This means that how many electrons are passing through a surface of a conductor in how much time. So, according to this phenomena, we conclude that the electric current is defined as the rate of flow of electric charges is known as electric current. I. Electric current is represented by I, capital I. Okay. And its unit is coulomb per second or ampere. So look at the formula. Here is the formula. Suppose that this is the conductor. This is the conductor, which is the iron rod, we can say. And on connecting this conductor with the battery, suppose there are Q charges. Number of charges is Q. Q charges are passing across this conductor in time T. In T time or T second, we can say Q coulomb of charges are passing through this conductor. Then we can say that the electric current which is produced in this conductor is equal to Q by T. This is electric current I. This is electric charges Q, and this is time. So the ratio of electric charges to the time is known as electric current. Also we can derive another formula from this formula, and that is Q is equal to IT. Okay. So this is the concept of electric current. Now what is electric circuit? The second topic in your syllabus is what is electric circuit. The path along which electric current flows is called electric circuit. This is the path. This is the path along which the electrons are moving, and this is also the path of the flow of electric current. The path along which electric current flows is called electric circuit. It consists of electric devices such as electric bulb, resistors, capacitors. There are a lot of electric appliances. We are saying those electric appliances as electric devices. Just like here in this figure, an electric bulb is shown. So it is an electric device. So what happens in an electric circuit? There are electric devices, there are switching devices, and cell or a battery, and conducting wires. These are the conducting wires. I have connected this bulb, this electric device, with a conducting wire through a battery. So this path along which the electric current is flowing, this path is known as the electric circuit. So what is the direction of flow of electric charges? The direction of flow of electric charges is from the negative terminal to the positive terminal of the battery, whereas the direction of the flow of electric current is from the positive terminal of the battery towards the negative terminal of the battery. So we understood the concept of electric current and electric circuit. Now we are going to solve a numerical. That is example 12.1 given in your NCERT book. Look at that question. You can write these definitions and you can make these diagrams by pausing the video. I am going to rub it. My dear students, in your NCERT book, there is given example 12.1 just after the topic of electric current and electric circuit. Example 12.1. Example 12.1, a current of 0.5 ampere is drawn by a filament of an electric bulb for 10 minutes. For 10 minutes. Find the amount of electric charge. Find the amount of electric charge that flows through the circuit. The question is a current of 0.5 ampere. So the value of current is given here. Value of current is given here. My dear students, the value of I, that is electric current, is given, which is equal to 0.5 ampere. This current is drawn by a filament of an electric bulb for 10 minutes. What is given here? 10 minutes is the time is given. The time, small t, is given. The value of time is 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So we must convert it. We have to convert it in seconds. In seconds. Why are we going to convert in? Why are we going to convert it in seconds? Because second is the SI unit. In each and every numerical of the physics, you will use the SI units only. You cannot use the units which are not approved by International System of Units. Okay, you cannot use minute here. In order to calculate the number of charges, you will have to convert the time in seconds. So I am going to convert this minute into second. So multiplying 10 by 60, this will be converted into second. So the time will be 600 seconds. 600 seconds. The value of current is given 0.5 ampere. 0.5 ampere. Okay, this is the SI unit. So no need to worry here. We are only converting the time, the unit of the time, in second. Time is 600 seconds. Now we already learned the formula. That Q is equal to IT. Q is equal to IT. This is the amount of electric charge which we are going to find in our question. We have to find the amount of electric charge, means we have to find the value of capital Q, or also you can say that we are going to find the value of electric charges. This can also be represented by small q and this can also be represented by small I. Okay, so putting the value of I, that is 0.5 into the value of time is 600. On multiplying these, we get 300 coulomb. 300 coulomb. Okay, because the unit of electric charge is coulomb. The unit of electric charge is coulomb. So the amount of electric charge we calculated here is 300 coulomb. This is your answer. Okay, so we are stopping here, and in our next video we shall do some more questions and after that we shall discuss about electric potential and potential difference. Okay, thank you very much.